Good afternoon, fellas, and welcome to another video with me, Vince, at Modern Man Lifestyle. Got a really interesting video for you today that I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me quite recently, and it got me thinking about the topic of men's preferences and what we like in women. Now, this can be construed as slightly controversial, which I don't know why, because ultimately anyone, woman or man, can have their preferences, and that's okay. There's no problem with having preferences. How would anyone survive the world without preferences of what they like and they don't like? But anyway, I was on a date a couple of weeks ago with a girl who's around 28 years old, really nice girl, and we were having a chat about online dating, and she said, "What's your age range?" You know, when you're on Hinge or Tinder, you have like a minimum maximum age range. And I said, yeah, like 22 to 29. She said, what? I said, yeah, 22 to 29. She said, I was like, well, you know, I'm in my early 30s, but I typically don't date girls 30 or over, just from my experience. That's just my preference, nothing against them. Um, and she was shocked. She tried to shame me, said, oh, what about the older girls? This is shocking. You know, really got emotional about it. And one, this girl's 28, so she's obviously in my range. Um, but when I started questioning her more, you know, it's that initial backup. You know, she's going to be 30 in a couple of years, thinking this is shocking. Why don't men like that? Really annoys me. She was saying, and I said, well, you know what kind of guys do you go for? And she was telling me, and I was like, do you have like a height thing? She was like, yeah, I don't date guys under 5'11". This girl's 5'3".
Say what?
5'3". So any guy 5'6" or above is taller than her by a significant 3-4 inches. And I said, well, you have your preferences. You don't date guys under 5'11". That's fine. You know, it's not ideal for guys who are smaller than that, but it is what it is. That's your preference. Why is it an issue that I have an age preference? And she would not accept that I had a preference, whereas she was allowed to have a preference. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because women are going to try and shame you for what you like. You might like girls who are blonde, big boobs, big butt, whatever it is you're into, gym girls, foodie girls, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That's your preference and that's totally up to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Girls, however, if they feel threatened by your preference or they feel like they're not in that preference, they will try and shame you, especially from the age point of view. They will try and shame you into thinking that your preference is bad, evil, patriarchal, old-fashioned, whatever. Now, I'll tell you another story. This is a couple of months ago. I was actually speaking with a good friend of mine. She's maybe 30, 31. We had the same conversation. When I told her the same age range, she was like, oh my God, that's shocking. All these stupid young girls. Why would you date them? And I was like, two things. In my experience, I've known this girl for 7, 8 years. She only dates guys 5 or 10 years older. From the time I've known her to now, she only dates guys 5 to 10 years older. So, literally, her own argument, she's completely uncredible with her own argument. But again, it's because she's in her 30s now and she's angry. She's like, right, so I'm out of the runs then. And not because she's trying to get with me, but simply what she's seeing is that men's preference might be for younger women. And realistically, men's preference for younger women, slightly younger women, has always been probably in the case. And the statistics that I've seen is women and men, there's usually between a 3 to 4 year gap of age. On average, 3 to 4 year gap of age. So a 32-year-old guy dates a 28-year-old woman, for example. Now, of course, there's lots of exceptions. But the point I'm getting to is both of these girls were late 20s, early 30s, and both of them did not like my preferences. They then tried to shame me and make me feel like I was a bad guy, like, you know, it's wrong for me to want to date a girl who's 25, for example. But they also had their own preferences. One of them only dates tall guys, and one of them only dates older guys. And that's fine. You know, like when girls say, oh, I only want to date a tall guy, it pisses me off. It does. It makes me think, oh, it's like so unoriginal. It's just, it doesn't really show the person for who they are. But that's their preference and they can have that. That's fine. Same with guys and age preference. Same with color of hair, size of boobs, size of butt, whatever. So in essence, fellas, what I'm telling you is stick to your guns. Don't let other people tell you what you should and shouldn't like. Understand what your preferences are, your dislikes, and work from that. There's absolutely no shame in it. If you're a 40-year-old guy and you like 40-year-old women, fine, that's your preference. Do that, that's for you. If you're a 35-year-old guy and you only date 25-year-old girls, you know, that's for you, power to you. whatever you want to do. So the truth is that women don't want to hear that honest opinion. They say they want to hear the honest opinion, but really, they really don't. And that's something that I think a lot of girls and women really need to get their head around, is that men can also have preferences just as they have preferences. Like, I see a lot of things, a lot of profiles online that say only tall guys, right? Imagine I wrote no fat girls. I'd get thrown off the app probably for hate speech, fat shaming. I'd get shamed, I'd get abuse written to me. The difference for me is that you can't control your height, you can control your weight. Now the fact is, I don't write that on my profile because I just, if a girl was overweight, I just wouldn't swipe on her. That's how I make my choice. But you have to understand there's a double standard here with the way women work and their preferences. You have to stay strong in what it is you want and desire, and don't hate women for it. Don't think badly of them for having their preferences and being maybe hypocritical. Just let them have their day. That's fine. You go around the way you want to be and the women you want to date. That's how you live your life. Anyway, guys, quick rant over. Very much interesting topic. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you've got any stories or anything you'd like to add or anything I've missed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next one.